I'm Tim Tuller, Canon for Music at St. John's Cathedral, and I'm going to say just a couple of words about the music for this Sunday, September 29th. This Sunday is one of my favorite feast days of the year, actually. It's the feast of St. Michael and All Angels, also sometimes known as Michaelmas. And there's some wonderful music and wonderful hymns that were written for this service. The opening hymn this Sunday actually is hymn number 282, Christ the Fair Glory of the Holy Angels. It's one of my favorite hymns in the hymnal, and really the only time we can do it is on the Feast of St. Michael and All Angels because it's very, very specific to that day. So we'll be singing that as our opening hymn Sunday. Our prelude and postlude on the organ both come from the actually Irish Anglo composer, Charles Villiers Stanford. He was born Irish, but he's usually considered an English composer. He spent most of his time in England. And Stanford was among the generation of late 19th and early 20th century English composers that really pulled England out of the musical doldrums. After Henry Purcell had died way back in 1695, for a couple hundred years, England suffered a dearth of truly world-renowned homegrown talent when it came to composing. There were some minor figures during that time, but there was really a long stretch when there were really very few first-rate composers to come out of England. And during that time, England tended to import their composers, usually from German countries. And George Frederick Handel is a good example. He moved to England and actually became a naturalized citizen in the early 18th century, and English like to claim him as their own. In the 1790s, Franz Joseph Haydn visited England, and his music was very, very popular there. And then a little bit later on, in the 1830s and 1840s, the German Felix Mendelssohn became very popular in England and was actually close friends to Prince Albert and Queen Victoria. English musical taste has always run more along the Germanic lines than French for, I guess, unsurprising reasons. So in the late 1800s, though, a huge crop of truly first-rate talent came to the fore in England, and we had composers like C. Hubert H. Parry, Edward Elgar. Stanford was amongst this group. And Stanford is especially known today for revitalizing church music, Anglican church music. He wrote in all genres. He wrote symphonies and concertos and chamber music. But it's really his anthems for choir and organ that really stand the test of time the best. And the anthem this Sunday, And I Saw Another Angel, specifically was written for the Feast of St. Michael and All Angels. And the organ pieces that I'm doing for the prelude and postlude are taken from his collection with the unassuming title of 6 Short Preludes and Postludes. Now, there are actually 2 sets of these, so actually there are 12 short preludes and postludes, and they contain some of Stanford's best organ music. He's not really remembered as a composer of solo organ music as much as he is choral music, but there are some gems there, and particularly the final piece I'll be playing, the postlude in D minor, is actually a very substantial piece. It could have been the first movement of an organ sonata or an organ symphony, and it probably is I would say, is probably his single best piece of solo organ writing. It's very well done, and it holds up very well to our modern ears. I hope you enjoy the music this Sunday.